Welcome to Love Your Core. I'm Lizzie Lassiter. We're here today with the great Mary Richards. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Lindsay.
I've seen the sequence of movements here, and there's a lot standing up, which surprised me. I assumed you were going to be torturing us with endless variations of plank pose. Tell us your thinking behind the standing series today.
Plank poses are great for training your core, no doubt. But you know what? We also need to have core stabilization when we're standing, walking, running, jumping, etc. So today we're going to focus on standing core exercises, which I believe are under practiced and oftentimes perceived to be easy and not worth our time. And that's because we skip the work.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're definitely going to make sure we don't do that today. Mary's going to keep us on task. I want to remind everyone of the website, which is lassiter.yoga. If you go here, number one, you can get on our new moon mailing list. We send a free full-length class like this every month on the new moon. And there's also two courses you might want to look at. If you enjoy this video and this series, if you enjoy working with Mary, you're going to love our Somatic Strength course. And you should also take a look at our Love Your Lower Back course, which has a lot of somatic strength work embedded in it. Okay, Mary, let me
And if,
switch to gallery view. What did you want to say?
and if I could just shamelessly plug my book for a moment, Lizzie, Teach People Not Poses. Some of this is in chapter 6 of my book, which is about dynamic motion control. And see,
Absolutely.
it's great. Again, we need to be able to do planks and side planks and things like that, but we also need to be able to stabilize ourselves when we're engaged in dynamic movement. And that's what we're doing today.
Okay, where do we start?
So we start standing. And what I want you to do is I want you to place your feet uh, about hip width apart, just so you feel stable and comfortable. So you're going to come into mountain pose and your second toe is pointed directly forward. And then I want you to sit down comfortably into the chair that isn't there. Place your hands on your thighs above your knees. And now I want you to exhale and round your back body. Bring the crown of the head down, tuck your tailbone. And now inhale and lift your tailbone and lift your face. And really think about initiating this movement from your pelvic floor. So dragging your tailbone forward as you bring the crown of the head down, then pulling the tailbone up as you lift the face,
Mm-hmm.
squeezing the organs back and then stretching the organs taut.
Mm-hmm.
What's nice about doing standing core training too is if you have hip, knee, low back problems, you're standing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
safe and you don't have to transition down to the floor, up from the floor, etc. And all of these exercises will help you do that.
Mm. Okay.
So let's just,
Whew.
yeah, you feel it, right? It's different.
Absolutely. Yeah, my
Did
quads,
you
I felt it.
Yes. So that's the other thing about the core. It's not just your abs, people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
also your bum in particular.
Okay. Yeah, that's an
Glutes.
amazing thing I've learned with you is that the bum part of the core.
Yeah, huge part.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we stay standing and in the same position, your feet hip width apart, second toes, space between the second and third toes pointed directly forward, hands comfortably on your hips. Now make yourself as tall as you can by dragging your ribs off of your waist. You're not tucking. Think about pulling yourself up like taffy. Now, sit down just a little bit, not so much, just pushing down enough that your knees bend comfortably. Now at your hips, exhale, hinge forward to 90 degrees. Stick your butt back, lift your tailbone, and now inhale and hinge up. And now fold
Oh.
forward. Right, right,
Okay.
right.
Okay,
And now,
what is this doing, Mary? What's happening?
so think about it. We're kind of doing a baby deadlift.
Mm-hmm.
Or an Ardha Uttanasana without adding shear through your intervertebral discs.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just folding. Now try not to bend your knees so much, okay?
Okay.
Just enough for comfort. And you let your butt stick back and let your tailbone lift. And then you inhale and you rise and your pelvis rolls right back under you. And think about holding your organs in. You're not going to let yourself dump your organs out onto the mat. You feel a little
Mm.
bit of work in your low back?
Absolutely.
Yeah, guess what? Your low back is also an integral part of your core. So,
Surprise.
yes, yes. And so think about your core as 360 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
not just your abs and your rectus abdominis, your transversus abdominis, your obliques. I want you to also think about your quadratus lumborum of the low back and your glutes. Let's just do a couple
Mm-hmm.
more.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully tomorrow, if you feel residue from this, the residue that you will feel is in your glutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One more.
One more, and then we come to standing, and then we're going to move into the plank inchworm. Okay. So now where you put your arms, how you use your arms is entirely up to you. Okay.
Okay.
So let's start though with our arms hanging long by the sides of the body. And then I want you to exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Bend your knees if you need to. Bend your knees if you need to. Put your hands down on the floor. Walk out to the plank position. Walk your hands out to the. No, don't move those
Ah,
legs.
okay. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Let me move to the back of the mat. So I'm
Sure,
going
sure.
down and then I'm walking the hands forward.
Walk to the plank. Walk the
Okay.
plank. There you go. Stay. Round of breath. And now exhale, pull your organs in firmly. Walk your hands back to your feet. Back to your feet. Yes, if you need to, bend your knees, but ideally you inhale and you hinge up at the hips.
Whew.
Exhale, hinge at the hips. Bend your knees if you need to, hands down onto the mat. Inhale, walk yourself out to the plank. Walk it out, walk it out. Stay there, stay there. And then you exhale and you walk your hands back to your feet.
So
And
what
then,
did you mean in the beginning about put your hand where your hands are is up to you? Where else would they be?
well, you could inhale and sweep your arms up and overhead and
Okay.
fold. Okay. But
Okay.
that's going to
Right.
increase load through your low back. All right.
Right. Right.
So I think it's safer for most people to keep the arms by the sides of the bodies.
Okay, you're
But
saying
you
here I
absolutely,
could do this like
yeah, you can
this.
absolutely do that, and you'll feel it's a little harder as you fold
Hmm.
forward because
Yeah.
you're managing more weight.
Yeah.
And I just like to do 50 of these.
She's not kidding, folks. That's the thing. That's really the well,
No,
I
let's be reasonable. 4 to 8 of them.
Mhm.
But you feel this is a huge compound movement. And see, we need to be able to do all of these things. We need to be able to fold over and touch our toes. We need to be able to get back up
Yeah,
as well. And so you can feel how everybody's coming to the party here. And now what will
absolutely.
happen is we'll try to skip the plank. So
Hmm.
take a round of breath in the plank and then move yourself back. Sometimes I'll take 10 rounds of breath in the plank. I'll slow it way, way down because I like to get my money's worth.
Okay, last one.
But you think about this. You do this movement when you're putting on your shoes, when you bend over to pick up anything, when you're loading the dishwasher, whatever it is.
Hmm.
And all of the hinging is taking place at the hips, which is great. That's exactly what
Right.
we want. You felt
Oh,
that?
totally. Mary. Woo. Heat rising. What's
Yeah.
next?
So now we're going to do a dynamic variation of Warrior One with rotation. Okay, so we're
Okay.
back to standing. And I doesn't matter which way you start. Now, I typically will step the right leg back because I'm
Okay.
right-handed and I like to challenge my nervous system. Okay. So it's up to you, but you arms comfortably by the sides of the body. Inhale the breath, step your right leg back, confident step back, stay on the ball of the foot though. Okay, I want you to stay on the ball of the foot for balance challenge. Now inhale and bring your arms up to shoulder height. Exhale and turn your body towards your front leg. Turn towards your left. Yes.
Okay, I
Yeah.
meant to do, then let me turn around because I wanted to turn towards you when I do it. So like
Okay, there we
this.
go. And you
Okay,
stay for a round of breath, and then you inhale back to center and power your back leg forward.
like this.
There we go. Yep, just like that. And then you step your opposite leg back.
Okay, like
Exhale,
that.
turn in the direction of the front leg. Stay for a round of breath. Inhale back to center and power that back leg forward. And we just continue alternating the sides. I also like to do this with a resistance band between my hands because I like
Mm-hmm.
added challenge. And so you feel as how you naturally bring your hands to peripheral mudra at the heart center. And
Yeah.
if you, so you can add a resistance band very easily. And what you would do is as you come into the rotation, you would pull the resistance band out.
Okay, I've got one. Let me dig in here and
Okay.
see so we can show what you're talking about.
And again,
So,
we tend to, that's great. Yes, I love the long ones. I love
okay,
the
so
long.
I'm going to step back. Let's try this side. So I'm going to step back and then I'm tugging against the band.
As you turn, tug. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Try to keep your wrists neutral, flat wrists. There you go. There you go. And that'll help with your
Okay.
grip strength too. There you go.
Oof, oof, oof. This turned up the heat, Mary.
I
Definitely
know, right?
immediate.
Yeah, it makes a difference. And see, the thing is, because we aren't getting like plank sensations or crunch sensations, we think, oh, I'm not really working my abs, but you're working your abs dynamically, which improves motion control. That
Yeah.
helps balance. It helps smooth out your gait. It helps keep your cavities balanced in relationship to one another. So your head cavity centered over your chest cavity centered over your belly cavity.
All right, last one.
Okay.
This is intense. Okay. Woo.
Yeah. And we're back then to Tadasana, to mountain pose. And your hands comfortably on your hips. Okay. And now I want you to shift your weight into your right leg.
Mhm.
And then I want you to exhale and sweep your left leg up. You can bend your knee if you need to, but you're going to try and keep your legs straight. So you're going to lift your leg as high as you can, and then you're going to pull it back down to the starting position. And you're going to do the same leg lift. So you're going to pull your left leg up, stay for a moment, and then pull it down. And just notice how much you tend to wobble. That's okay. You can always put your hand on a wall. But if we think about this, we do this every time we take a step.
This is
Especially,
horrible.
it's basically the
Well,
start though of Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana.
yeah, which is also horrible, I will remind.
But you know what? If you have pain in the front of your hip or your low back, like this will actually help because you're actually getting the hip flexors to really work, which will help them release.
It's also the standing leg. I'm going to switch sides. The standing leg, all of the hip stabilization stuff, I'm feeling really strongly.
Exactly. Exactly. And that works together with your core stabilization systems.
Hmm.
Okay. We're working now extrinsic core stabilization subsystem. So it's all good. It's all good. And again,
Yeah.
if you need to bend your knee as you lift the leg, bend your knee. Now, resist the temptation to just let your belly be loose, okay? So think about drawing your belly button back and pulling it up. So you keep your
Mm.
abs braced. All right.
Okay, I'm going to do three more on each side. This is intense
Okay.
for me. I'm also feeling my front thigh on the lifting leg a
Yeah.
lot.
Yep. Yep. Working to stabilize your knee. Yep. So you feel your outer hip and your bum on the standing leg, and then on the
Mm-hmm.
moving leg, you're feeling your hip flexors work and your knee extensors work. And the entire time you're keeping your abs braced.
The entire time you're sweating.
Now the great news is we're going to stretch it out. So we're back
Okay.
in mountain pose and we're going to come to the standing side bend.
Okay.
Okay. And I want you to side bend to your dominant side first. So you'll inhale, you'll sweep your arms up. You'll take hold of your, let's say you're right-handed. Okay. You'll take hold of your left wrist with the fingers of the right hand, and you're going to side bend to the right. And then you turn up just a little bit, turn the chest up just a little, just a little. And
Mm-hmm.
you stay, oh, no more than 3 rounds of breath. You inhale back to center. If you need to release the arms, you release the arms. Otherwise, you just change the hold on the wrist. Now you're holding onto your right wrist, and then you exhale and go to the left,
Mm.
which is easier. No big liver in the way. If
Uh-huh.
you're, and if you're right-handed, your left side is short anyway. So then
Mm-hmm.
we inhale back to center, we change the wrist clasp, and we go back to the dominant side. And so you're really stretching out the left side waist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then,
That's about how many I like to do. Honestly, though sometimes I'll do 6, but
okay.
I like to bend toward my dominant. I'm right-handed. So I like to bend to my right side to stretch my short left and then
Mm-hmm.
bend to the left. And I don't spend as much time there because I already have a PhD in side bending on that side. And then I go
Mm-hmm.
back to the right. I try to bend to my dominant side twice as
Twice.
much.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's super interesting. I love when you use asymmetry as a kind of tool in yoga therapy because we're so focused on symmetry in yoga. We always think we need to do that, but then the body is asymmetrical. So I think it's like a really intelligent way of working.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it because, first of all, it's the anatomical reality, and it's also the functional reality
Yeah.
because we're handed,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So, our last thing that we're going to do is we're going to be in mountain pose,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're going to move into Anahatasana, the heart opening pose. Okay. Because this is also part and parcel of core training is we need to stretch those abs. So
Okay.
you have your arms comfortably by the sides of the body and you're in mountain pose. And then I want you to exhale and bring the hands behind you and interlace your fingers. You can always use a strap if you need to. Squeeze the palms of the hands together, press your knuckles down toward the floor, drag your ribs out of your waist, and now think about like you're going to go into a back bend. And
Mm.
really drive the energy down through your straight arms and lift the ribs out of your waist and press your breastbone up toward the ceiling. And then you inhale back to mountain pose. Just relax the arms, and then we go again. And again, if you need to use a strap to bind the hands together, please use a strap. But if you can, you interlace the fingers. You can even change the interlace each time.
So do you want me to be trying to come much further, Mary, or
No,
is it sort of here?
I want you to come to where you feel the natural stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then once you get there, I want you to really think about rolling your back bottom ribs into your body and lifting up and over those back bottom ribs so that you're
Mm-hmm.
stretching between the front ribs. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yes, I
Yeah.
feel that.
And then you inhale back to center. Because see, a lot of us are tight in that region. That's
Yeah.
why one of the reasons why we can't take a deep breath. And you just do that 2 or 3 times. That's it. And then
Okay.
go about your day.
Mary Richards. Mary Richards. I cannot believe this. I've been working with you for years and you amaze me with this sequence. It's new ideas, new movements. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, your laughter, your generosity, and your love of torture with us.
It's truly a pleasure. Thank you so much, Lizzie.
And tell us where in the world, where can we find you on the internet?
Look me up, Yoga with Mary Richards, Instagram, Facebook.com.
All the all the things. This is where you want to go. www.lasseter.yoga. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, New Moon Mail. Check out our Somatic Strength course and our Love Your Lower Back course.
Yeah.
All right. Lots of love. Bye, everyone.